Hi everyone, my name is Sayari Debnath. I translate from Hindi and Bengali into English. And for the theme of domesticity, I've chosen to read a short story by Sangeeta Bandyopadhyay. It's called A Happy Couple, which I've translated from the Bengali. And the reason why I feel that the story fits this theme so well is because it takes a look at how social media has become such an important part of our interpersonal relationships, especially in romantic relationships, in marriages, and in our familial structures as well. So what Sangeeta Bandyopadhyay does in this story very cleverly is that she sees how social media creates a lack and the desire to be something that we are not, and where does this desire creep from? It creeps from the necessity to impress people, to impress strangers online, and to feel a sense of superiority which otherwise perhaps lacks in our own lives outside of social media. And it has also become a very coveted stamp of approval in our lives, where not just your own existence, but you also want your relationship and your partner to be validated by the world at large. And I will start reading the story now. After leaving office, Shutirtha would usually call Ahana and say, "On my way, the traffic is hopeless. It will be at least 8 before I reach." "You're already on the bus?" Ahana might ask. Not might, she definitely would. "No, Partho asked me to wait for a few minutes. I will have a smoke with him. Then we will go for tea at Proshad's stall. I'll take the bus after that." Shutirtha would say something along these lines. Newtown, Rajarhat, Narkildanga, and then all the way to College Street. Plenty of buses plied that route. The bus stand was there right in front of the office. It would take Shutirtha about an hour to reach home if he took the bus from Korunamoi Ulturanga route. He would get down at Amherst Street, walk for a few minutes, and Mullik Nibash would appear to his left. The house was built in 1880 by his grandfather's father's eldest brother. The grandfather's father's mother was an only daughter. Therefore, everyone who had lived in Mullik Nibash in the last 100 years was not a true blue Malik. Most of them were Mitters. Shutirtha's grandfather's father started a press on the first floor of the house at the turn of the previous century. The business soon went bankrupt and sank into debt. He was not only forced to pack up the press but also let the first floor out on rent. The press made way for a hosiery factory, and that didn't survive for too long either. At present, the first floor serves as a storehouse for a well-known sari shop on College Street. Furthermore, another room had been sublet as an office for a new publisher. The house was divided equally between Shutirtha and his aunt Juthika. The first floor belonged to his aunt. Shutirtha did not know the exact details of the arrangement she had with the boarders, including the amount she collected in rent. All he knew was his aunt's son, Babuda, had wanted to rent out one of the rooms on the terrace, but Ahana's disapproval made him promptly install a collapsible gate on the stairs leading from the first floor to the second. Not just the gate, he also enclosed the side of the veranda with iron grill. Shutirtha was not as well to do. Ahana sold off her jewellery to install similar security measures in their part of the house. Since then, Shutirtha has been totally cut off from his aunt's family. He did not have any relatives of his own. Ahana was the only daughter of her parents, and she did not have a big family to boast of either. She did not work at an office, nor was she in touch with any of her friends. Shutirtha earned a pittance. Having friends also meant additional expenses. They didn't have the money for it. Therefore, Ahana kept herself confined at home, and Shutirtha divided his time between the office and Adda at Mrityunjay's place. This was how they had wasted away many years. Besides going to the cinemas every once in a while, Ahana would go to the fairs all round the year. Walking around the fair, looking at the displays, and coming home without buying anything was particularly enjoyable to the couple. These days, everyone seemed to have a lot of money to squander. While Kolkata's economic growth had remained elusive to the naked eye, it was true that the people of the city had more money than ever before. Just see how much they spent on unnecessary things. Where did all the money come from? Shutirtha would like to know. He had no money to spare. Therefore, the material markers of belonging to the 21st century, of being in 2016, were missing from himself. He had recently taken to Facebook while his wife was already addicted to it. Apart from that, everything else in his life was marked by antiquity. If Shutirtha hid his smartphone from view and stood in any corner of his home on a Sunday afternoon and took a good look at his surroundings, he would find himself transported 20 years back in time. His world was trapped in the cobwebs of his days. The same old clothesline and cotton towels, the same old ahana in her same old salwar kameez that cost no more than rupees 400, the same old way in which she tucked her dupattas on the iron railings. Even the utensils in the kitchen, barring a cup or two, had stayed the same over the years. The rice was still cooked in the same battered, unshapely pot that his mother used to. Fine lines had appeared on the red floor with black borders, but no repairs had been undertaken. Damp patches resembling Karl marks had appeared on the bathroom wall when Shutirtha was a schoolboy. Over the years, Mark's stubble had turned into a luscious beard. A prayer had been conducted in the house at some point in Shutirtha's childhood. He still remembered those who had attended it. The taste of the shinny offering, the loud ululation and blowing of the conch, the event had been preserved to date in the faint swastika design his mother had drawn on the floor all those years ago. The room had belonged to her. Even today, Shutirtha bought no more than a quarter kilo of sugar from the neighborhood grocery shop. He had never shopped at an air-conditioned supermarket. There was no LED TV at home. Anna had purchased a second-hand AC, but neither had ever felt hot enough to turn it on. This was a general picture of Shutirtha's life. They had eaten ilish only once this year. Ahana had eagerly posted photos to Facebook. He would never forget that day. Fried ilish, ilish curry, steamed ilish, and ilish head with puishak leaves had been cooked. Before long, the photo had 150 likes and nearly 40 comments, all before they had even eaten this fish. Her face puffed up and reddened. Ahana had said to him, "Shouldn't have posted the photos." "Why not?" asked Shutirtha naively. "What will everyone think if we post photos on only one day? They will figure out we haven't eaten ilish on any other day." "Who's keeping account?" "Everyone. You don't know anything. You have no idea what Facebook is like." "Why wouldn't I? Of course I do." "It's something else. It's a whole different world out there, and they're all waiting quietly to pounce on you and tear you into shreds, to prey on your weakness and destroy your integrity. In that case, it's better to stay off it." Ahana was quiet for a while. Then she said, "But Facebook has given me a new lease at life. I'll disappear from people's lives if I delete my account. I almost didn't exist before Facebook. What was the point of my staying alive?" That day, when I was standing against the window of Ma's bedroom and my hands were holding the latch as I stared into the distance, the sun's setting light was falling on my face. "You said I looked like a Bikash Bhattacharjee painting, remember? I immediately asked you to take a photo on your phone. I posted it to Facebook and received so many likes and comments. So much appreciation in return. So many people wanted to be my friend, and Illustrated quickly painted the image in watercolor to go with the famous writer's story. I found out about this from Facebook too. There was so much excitement. Many accused him of plagiarism. They wanted me to report him to the magazine editor. Someone said there was no need to add more fuel to the fire. Artists were known to take inspiration from photographs. I have stood by this window for many years. The sunlight always fell on my face in this exact manner, and yet the image was lost somewhere in the folds of your insignificant life and entirely ignored by you. To you, it was an ordinary occurrence, but thanks to Facebook, I realized that this ordinary moment was worthy of so much praise and adulation. Thank you, everyone.